What's up, everybody? I am Adaptive, and I'm going to go over some of the best builds in this game. So, first one that we're going to start with is a Veredicto build. And so, a lot of your build is going to come down to what altar pieces you're using. So, what's great is they have presets. So, I have 3 different presets for different builds. Like, here's my Ruego al Alba build and my Veredicto build, and here's the dual blades. I'm forgetting what it's called. But we're gonna go over the Veredicto build, which here are the altar pieces that I'm using. So increases the strength of Veredicto, increases fire damage, improves the effects of Bile Flask, increases the stun power of your attacks, increases the fervor generated when attacking enemies, damages nearby enemies after suffering an attack, and reduces the fervor cost of keeping the war sensor alight, reduces the fervor cost of prayers. And so together, what these do, when you look at the resonances, and now notice the circular flames versus just the candle. So the circular flames mean that that's a special combination. And so with this special combination, this one boosts some of Veredicto's hits, creating bursts of fire when activated. This one, drinking a Bile Flask halts the passage of time for a few seconds. Now this one is a great one for all around builds, and you can get this one pretty quickly. But it's great to slow down time, especially in bosses, especially the last boss fight. I would highly recommend you use this for the last boss fight. Doesn't matter what weapon you use. And then reduces fervor consumption to 0 by keeping Veredicto in an active state. Now this one's a little confusing because it makes it seem like, oh, you can just use as much fervor as you want, but no, it's just that it doesn't use fervor when you're in the Veredicto state. So you can just stay in that state and it won't use Veredicto, or it won't use fervor until you use the Veredicto, like to swing it. So, for example, wait, I don't think I switched to it, I'm sorry. So, we can just pop this on. And as you can see, it just does so much damage. And then it runs out, but then you can go ahead, attack away, and you just gain fervor immediately. And look at that, I'm back to full pretty much. So it's a great build. All right. And so, just to make sure that you know, also with the candles, so that means that it just increases the Veredicto's strength, because whenever you are altering anything, like the candles, for example, represent Veredicto. The sword represents increase to the Verdera Destreza. And this one is the Ruego al Alba. And then this one will increase your prayers and elemental damage. Now, one thing that you can do with this build is, instead of using the increase of fire, you can change this one to miasma, and you can do miasma damage instead. And that's a fine build, but personally, I think the fire one is best. So you can go ahead and use that, but I personally think the fire one is better. Unless you're going up against an enemy that is using fire. Like, there's one boss that uses a lot of fire, so I'd probably, if you were going in with this build, you'd probably want to switch that to the miasma one. All right, so back to this right here. So now, this right here. Now I really like this one of the Sarmiento and Centella. These blades. At first, you think the blades aren't very good, but once you're able to proc the bonus, what is it? Of course, it won't click. The Verdadera Destreza. Once you're able to proc this, it does so much damage. So right here, we have just a simple one right here where it reduces Vera Destreza's loss to 1 hit, increases the window of timing to perform a block. And this one is that same one where it's increases the stun power and improves the bile flask, increases Sarmiento. So basically, slows down time as well. Then this one right here turns the Verdadera Destreza charges Sarmiento and Centella's blades with current of mystical damage. In addition, Sacred Lunge casts a shadow that strikes after a short moment. And now this one I really like a lot, and you can use this on multiple builds. This specifically increases the crit chance of striking with the weapon and attack damage. So that's by 10% and an additional 10% with the weapon damage. So 10% crit, 10% weapon damage. And then this one is an additional 10% crit damage, totaling to 20% crit damage. And then this one is so combined, that increases its strength. This one also increases its strength. So now it's just, these weapons are a beast. Let me make sure that's equipped. All right. That was the shadow attack. Oh. Wow, I'm getting hit by everything right now. Well, normally when you don't get hit, it will demolish everything. And instantly dead. Now you'll have 3 of these to charge, so if you get hit, it'll take 1 away, but as they charge, it'll get stronger and stronger. So making this very, very good. And the other one that we can use is this one right here, which this is for the Ruego al Alba. So this one increases the strength of Ruego al Alba, increases lightning damage because we can turn that into now a lightning based weapon, but you'll see in a moment. Increases the window time of to perform a block, increases the duration of blood pack, improves the effect of bile flask, and the same one because I use this on a lot of them. But yeah, improves the effects of the bile flask, Sarmiento. And then crit hits heal relative to the damage inflicted. And then I also use this one right here, which is not specific to this blade, but does really, really good because this works combined with this. Increases the crit chance, like I just went over with the other weapon, where it's 10% plus another 10%, it's 20% crit chance, and then additional 10% weapon damage. And then this, so the crit hits heal relative to damage inflicted. And so this is great for gauntlets. Any gauntlet you will destroy with this weapon. And as you can see, I'm getting my health back. And so it's not a bad thing to use to get health back. And usually when you're fighting a bunch of enemies, especially in a gauntlet, you will gain a lot of health back. And now one of the main things about this build is, which I can't really show here, you have to show it in like a gauntlet, which is great, is when you are fighting an enemy, every time... Alright, so like right here, we can proc this. Doesn't do a lot of damage to us now. We can just keep using this, and we can use this indefinitely pretty much. And as you can see, we're not losing anything. We're gaining health as we attack. But as that meter drops down, that's what you need to pay attention to. But as long as you're killing enemies, it will go right back up. And it'll start anew, and you could just do insane amounts of damage. This will destroy every gauntlet in this game. And so as you can see, it's doing damage to other enemies as well. Because what we're using is Blood Pact, Abuse the Blade with Ruego al Alba with Lightning. And killing an enemy during Blood Pact renews its duration. And yeah, it's just so it will chain off of other enemies as well, making it really, really powerful. And so me personally, I've used these in different situations because they are great in different situations and for different bosses. The Ruego al Alba, I think, is the best all-around weapon. But I think that this build right here is the most dominant, especially for bosses or just anything in general. And in general, like, this is my go-to for the mystical damage. This is what I beat every boss with, including the final boss, where I was able to slow down time multiple times, build up my mystical damage, and I just absolutely wrecked the final boss, which is a very, very hard boss to use. So use what you want, but also with chance. I'm just going to go over them really quickly. The one that you start out with, I think, is one of the best. This is really, really good. This one right here, Debla of Lights, it does a lot of damage. This one does a lot of damage. And then this one right here halts the passage of time for a few seconds. This one is very, very good, especially for the final boss. Another one that's kind of good, this one right here, summoning this guy. It uses a lot of fervor, but he stays there for quite a while compared to this one, which for some reason, every time I use it, disappears all the time. And then right here for these verses, the quick verses, I have found that personally, this one is the best. This one is the best. Bleeding Miracle. This one consistently does so much damage because it's like a boomerang, especially if you use it as a boomerang where you're kind of far from the enemy. So when you throw it like that, it comes back. If you're able to hit them within that, they get hit twice and it does a lot of damage to the enemies. So yeah, that's what I used personally. You can use whatever you like, kind of switch stuff around, play around with it. There's a lot of different builds that you can use, but this is personally what worked for me to absolutely destroy bosses and enemies and gauntlets. So once again, just to go over it, I would this is my go-to that I would use for the dual blades. This is what I would basically use all around. This is great. This build is really, really great for gauntlets. So great for gauntlets, and when you just know you're going to go up against a bunch of enemies. And then this one right here is also great for all around, just going around, and it's great for destroying some bosses. But some bosses in the late game, you may not want to use this build because you're just going to get so much damage thrown at you because it doesn't have a block. So just beware of that. Yeah, but that's the builds that I use. Hope these help you. Once again, my name is Adaptive. Please like and subscribe if you found this helpful. Let me know what you use, any suggestions that you think I could do to improve these builds, or what you use, because I've been playing around with this a lot. I've played this game twice now, and these have been my go-to presets that have consistently destroyed everything, especially because like this right here, where I can do crit damage just out the wazoo. Just, it's so good having 20% crit damage on top of increasing the damage. So with bosses, they just are destroyed. Their health bar just gets annihilated when the mystical damage procs. But yeah, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more. And I have walkthroughs, playthroughs of this game, and many more. Yeah, so I hope this helps you. Have a great day.